The Haunt of Swans by Sharon Oakes.
You'll ring as soon as you get there.
I promise.
Can't you wait a few more months? At least till spring.
I need to go now.
I know the last year and a half's been hard.
Give Lily and Josh a big hug from me. Tell them I'll send them a picture of an eagle.
Mum can look after him for a weekend. I'll come and stay.
Rachel, please. I must go. I'll miss my train.
Oh, well, I'm sorry for keeping you.
Oh, you've been a brilliant sister.
Fiona, you're not yourself.
Well, I'll be in touch. It was almost midnight by the time I finally arrived at Inverness. It was freezing and snowing heavily. I picked up my hire car knowing I'd got at least a couple of hours' drive ahead of me. As I drove, snowflakes clustered on the windscreen like white moths that wouldn't be shaken away. I was in a silent world. It felt strange suddenly, to be this alone. The snow was so thick I could hardly see where I was going. I couldn't see any turn-offs, any houses. I didn't see the animal till it was too late. It leapt in front of the car, froze, suspended in the headlights.
Are you okay?
I think so.
Didn't you see the deer?
I mean, it was dark. The snow, it was all so sudden. I was looking for a turn.
Well, it looks like it got away without any damage. I'm not sure about your car, though.
I'm not used to these roads.
And it looks like you won't be going much further. You're in a ditch.
I'll have to call out a rescue service.
Oh, you'll be lucky to get anyone to come out till morning. I'll give you a lift. There's a B&B up the road. She's finished for the season, but she might take you in.
I've rented a house. It can't be far from here. Ptarmigan Cottage. Do you know it?
Aye, it's another 4 miles. You'll never make it. Look, I've got a rope in the back of the Land Rover. I'll see if I can tow you out.
The snow in the Land Rover's headlights became a frenzied swarm. I thought my car was well and truly stuck, but at last. Thank you!
I'll drive to the cottage. You can follow me.
I'll be all right.
No, you'll never find the turn in this weather.
I've put you to enough trouble.
It's okay. This is it. Have you got a torch?
It's in my bag.
What about the key?
Richard said he'd leave it under a plant pot.
You know him then?
Oh, he's a friend of mine.
I'll open the door for you.
Thanks. I'll be okay now.
There you go. Do you want me to get your bags?
I've got what I need for tonight. I'll get the rest in the morning.
You sure?
I can manage on my own.
Right.
I don't want to sound ungrateful. I don't know what I'd have done if...
Yeah, you were lucky I was out so late. See ya.
Yeah. Thanks again. That night, for the first time in ages, I fell straight into a deep and dreamless sleep. I slept right through. The next morning, I woke early as usual. The snow had almost stopped. The sky was opaque and empty. The sun a moonstone of milky pinks and pale blues. It was beautiful. I didn't want to stay indoors any longer. It was perfect. No houses, no roads. The cottage was backed by low hills. There were only a few trees. A bank of bracken froze like a wave. In the pure, cold air. My feet burned. My mind sang with cold. I wanted that moment to last forever. To be a figure caught in a snowstorm globe.
Morning. I came to see if you'd survived the night.
I'm okay, I'm fine. Thank you. Are you always out this early?
I'm on my way to check on a deer herd. They're not far from here.
Are you a farmer?
No, I'm a nature warden. Are you on holiday?
No. Well, yeah, kind of, I suppose.
Well, I'm your nearest neighbour. If you need anything, my house is about half a mile further up the track.
Since I realised Mark wasn't going to get better, I cried a lot without warning. In the middle of putting washing in the washing machine, in meetings, at the shops choosing between broccoli or courgettes. As this man spoke, my eyes now began to fill. His face took on that familiar look of slight fear. He quickly made his excuses and left. Have I got you out of bed?
No, Josh came in our bedroom at 5:30 asking me to read Bad Mood Bear.
Oh no.
At least I didn't have any problem getting into character.
You must be shattered.
It was the house like?
Bit basic, but fine. Well, it's got everything I need.
You sound tired.
Yesterday was a long day.
If you change your mind.
Oh, it's in a beautiful place.
I'm so worried.
Oh, Rachel, please don't. I like it here. It's peaceful. It's what I need.
Fiona.
I need to get on. I'll call again tomorrow. Rachel seemed to have a knack of voicing my own fears. I decided I wasn't going to fill myself with doubts. I would get out of the cottage and go for a walk. I used the logic that if I followed the stream, at least if it snowed again, I'd be able to trace it back. But there was no threat of snow. The day was still and clear, the sky a piercing blue. Over the other side of a low hill, there was a small lock. It was frozen, ammonites of ice embedded in its surface. 2 large white birds were feeding near to the shore, swans. Though I'd never heard swans make this call before. They were beautiful, but they didn't look like swans in a park. I noticed the smaller bird moved awkwardly, and as I moved nearer to get a closer look, I definitely seemed to hold its wing at a funny angle. I guessed it must have been a she, looked smaller than the other swan, shaky, less alert somehow. It's okay. I'm not going to hurt you, mate. I don't want to hurt you. It's all right. I'm going. It's okay. I'm going to get some help. I'll come back.
Last?
I'm sorry to disturb you.
No, I thought it was something else.
Right.
What can I do for you?
I'm not sure, but I thought I'd better check. I saw a pair of swans on the lot near here. One of them looks as if it's hurt.
Oh?
Its wing, it was holding it at a funny angle.
Are you sure it wasn't just arching to warn you away?
Well, it didn't look right.
It's unusual to find a pair on their own. I better take a look. Can you show me exactly where you found them?
Yeah, of course. Do you want to go now?
Well, I was expecting something.
Well, I think she's really hurt her wing.
Okay. We'll go now.
Well?
Aye, you were right. There's definitely something wrong with her wing. It's a good job you were around to spot it.
Well, do you think it's broken?
I don't think so. She doesn't look good, though.
Oh, what a shame. Well, how do you think it could have happened?
Well, the wind may have blown her off course, crash-landed her into a tree or the ice.
They look different to swans I've seen before.
Aye, you've probably seen mute swans. These are hooper swans.
I've never heard of them.
They're wild birds that migrate here from Iceland and Scandinavia for the winter.
Are they a pair?
Aye. The male's the larger bird. They usually live in flocks. These probably became separated from the others when the female injured herself.
And the male stayed to look after her?
Looks like it. It's quite common for pairs of swans to protect each other. I'll keep an eye on her, see if she recovers on her own. Look, I should be getting on.
I think I'll stay a bit longer.
Okay. Have you got everything sorted at the cottage?
There's not much to sort.
You plan to stay for long?
I don't know yet.
I just realised I don't know your name.
Fiona.
Cameron.
Technology is brilliant, isn't it? I'm about to send an email from a remote valley in the Highlands of Scotland that will reach Sheffield, South Yorkshire, in a matter of minutes. Rachel, you know I mentioned earlier about the swans. Well, I looked on the internet. Some legends say that swans are really men, princes, gods, that have taken the form of a swan to hide or escape death. I'll send a picture of them for Lily and Josh. Take care. Give my love to everyone at home. Fiona.
What the hell are you doing?
Feeding the swans.
Bread!
Why? Plenty of people feed bread to the swans.
Aye, and swans have choked to death. Bread can swell up in their crops. If it's not fresh, the mould's poisonous to them.
I'm sorry, I didn't realise. She just didn't seem to be getting any better. She looks really unsteady and, well, I thought they'd find it hard to find food.
Well, you should have asked me first.
Well, I was only trying to help.
You shouldn't go interfering with things you obviously know nothing about.
How am I supposed to realise bread's dangerous? I didn't do it deliberately.
You could have killed them. Aye, well, I suppose not a lot of people know about it. You seem very concerned about the swans.
I like them. I was just worried they wouldn't survive.
Well, you don't have to worry about them finding food. I'm going to give them a special feed.
I never thought.
No.
I've never seen animals in the wild. Up close like this before. I just think, well, they're incredible.
Do you want to help out with their feeding?
I'd love to have more contact.
Okay.
What would I have to do?
Well, you need to give them a mix of grain. I can drop a sack of feed at the cottage.
Yeah, okay.
They'll have to be fed about twice a day if you can manage it.
Thanks. When do you want me to start?
Later this afternoon, if you've got the time.
Yeah, that's fine. I stayed by the lock for a while. The birds swam close to each other. I felt so sorry for the female. Her feathers looked dull and untidy. She seemed listless, gradually sinking down onto herself.
You sound a bit down.
I don't know. Everything seems impossible at times.
Oh, you sounded happier in your last email.
I don't know. I think I'm getting stronger, and then
It's only natural.
Natural? What's natural about being left a widow at 29?
I didn't mean... I meant about being up and down.
Look, I'm knackered.
Speak tomorrow.
Yeah. No. The swans. I felt they were calling to me. I had to go to them. I quickly pulled on my clothes, and the moon was intensely bright, filling the room with a forest of shadows. I had to go, get out of the house, make sure the swans were okay. There was something stalking the birds. A cat. The largest cat I'd ever seen. A wild cat. It crept stealthily towards the female swan, which seemed to have become trapped in the reeds by the water's edge. The male raised itself up on the water, wings outstretched, beating, warning. He looked huge, powerful, but the cat wasn't afraid. It carried on, getting closer and closer to the female, heckles slowly raising as it prepared to pounce. Shh! Get away! Get away! The cat began to move, hesitated for a second. Go on! It turned and ran. I was shaking, scared, but the swan, I had to try and free her. She was too far away from the shore for me to reach. There were rocks under the water. I stepped on them, trying to keep my balance in the wind. Ah! My clothes and boots froze to stone, dragging me under the water. For a moment, I wanted to sink to the bottom of the loch. Curl up. Let the water rock me to sleep. Hair streaming like weed. But then I kicked. Forced myself to reach the surface.
Reach towards me!
God!
Yes, you can! Keep trying, it's just a few more yards! Here, hold your arm out towards me! Come on, do as I tell you! Got you! Are you ready? What the hell were you up to?
Trying to free the swan. Why didn't you just leave me in the loch?
You should be thankful I was here.
What do you know?
Here. Take my coat off before you get hypothermia. I suppose I'd better get you home before I see to the swan.
Oh, just take a quick look. It might not take long, please. I'm all right.
She's okay. Here, get that brandy down you. Why were you wandering around in the middle of the night anyway?
I couldn't sleep.
What's wrong with reading a book, listening to the radio?
I heard the swans.
From the cottage?
I knew there was something wrong.
Psychic, are you? Okay, if you're feeling alright, I need to go.
Oh, can't you stay a bit longer?
I need to make sure that cat hasn't come back. If it's hungry, it'll be desperate.
Of course. The house seemed silent and empty after he'd gone. Wrapped in my blanket, I felt like a child. I sat for a long time, not wanting to leave the warmth of the fire. What? It was light. I must have fallen asleep in a chair.
It's a good job you're a strong swimmer.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you get checked out?
I think if I'd got hypothermia, done any damage, I'd know by now.
You sure?
I feel fine.
Well, you'll stay indoors today. Keep warm.
Yes.
Fiona, you didn't really mean it, did you? That you wished you could have...
It was only for a moment. I shouldn't have said.
Well, you must tell me these things.
Just... sometimes everything seems pointless.
I know it's easy for me to say, but you won't always feel like this.
You think?
I know Mark was a big part of your life, but you've got so many other things to live for.
Yeah.
Look, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to go or I'll be late for the school run.
Thanks for ringing. Cameron! What's happening?
It's a female. She won't last much longer if I leave her here. I'm going to have to take her out of the loch, see if I can nurse her at home.
Well, she seemed all right last night.
Well, she's got much worse since then.
Oh, can I do anything?
Actually, maybe you can. I don't want to stress her out any more than I can help it. I've got a small rowing boat in the back of the Land Rover. Do you think you could row it towards the birds? Direct them gently into the reeds where I can get hold of her.
Yeah, of course. I needed to steer the boat carefully not to upset the swans. It wasn't easy rowing against the wind. Waves soaked my legs and feet. The male was getting very protective.
Hold on. I've got her.
I held her in the back of Cameron's Land Rover as he drove to his house. She didn't fight. It was as if she didn't notice or care where she was. There were times when Mark was ill that he hardly seemed to realise I was with him.
She'll have to be kept indoors. I'm going to keep her in the kitchen. Do you think you could hold her a bit longer?
Of course. Can you save her?
I'm going to do my best. The main thing at the moment is to keep her warm and comfortable. I put some pillows in the pen. I'll just put some newspapers and plastic bin liners in. Swans are messy birds.
How will she feed? She's so weak.
She'll have to be fed by a tube and a syringe till she's stronger. I'm going to let her calm down before I attempt anything that might distress her again. I'll have to set up an outdoor pond.
Have you always lived in the country?
No, I'm from Glasgow.
What brought you here?
This job. It's what I've always wanted to do. I love it. Look, I need to get on. There's a lot of damage caused in these storms. I don't suppose you could stay here for a few hours, keep an eye on her till she's settled?
Of course I will. The swan lay quiet. Her neck stretched on the pillow. Head like a lily, wilting away from the water. I wanted to put something in her pen to comfort her. Perhaps something that smelled of the other swan. Though I knew that his presence would soon fade.
Sorry I've been away so long. It's getting worse out there. Are you alright?
I'm tired, that's all.
Here, I'll take you home. You can't stay here.
I wasn't expecting to...
Look, it's not easy living in a place like this.
That's
The
not-
weather, the isolation, it can soon get you down.
It's not that.
Right.
I'm sorry if I'm embarrassing you.
No. Look, I could do with a hand with the swan till she's strong enough to feed herself. How you fix
Well,
for...
I'd love to care for her. Did you know in Japan, whooper swans are called angels of the snow?
No, I didn't.
I imagined all sorts of things when you didn't get in touch today.
By the time I'd got back from Cameron's house, it was late. I'm sorry.
This is the same guy that pulled you out of the lock.
Yeah, you know, the nature warden.
You said.
I'm going to do a bit of voluntary work for him. Help look after the swans.
So you'll see quite a bit of him.
I suppose so.
Oh.
Well, it's a small community. People have to look out for each other.
Have you met anyone else yet?
Not really.
But this Cameron is okay.
Yeah.
Well, hope your swan gets better soon.
Thanks.
Let me know what happens.
See? Easy. You ready to have a go now?
I don't think I can.
You'll be fine. You just need to be confident.
But what if I hurt her?
You won't. Come on, give it a try.
Oh, I don't know. I can't.
Here, I'll help you.
No, but I...
Here you go. Here. Hold her.
Oh. What? Like this?
Relax. She'll pick up your fear.
Sorry.
No, you're doing fine. Hold her close to your body. That's it, closer.
What, like this?
That's it. Oh, make sure you support her head and her neck.
I'm going to drop her.
Don't panic, I'll help. Okay, hold open her beak.
Oh, she won't let me.
She will, trust her. Go on, she won't bite you.
Shh, I'm not going to hurt you. That's it. Oh, good girl.
Yeah, you're doing great. Now, pass the tube down her throat.
Oh, what if I get it in the wrong place?
Just look at her neck, touch it. Go on.
I really don't like this.
Can you feel the tube passing down her throat?
Yeah. Yeah, I've got it.
Good, that means it's in the right position. Once it reaches the stomach, you can pour the feed in.
Well, I can't reach. I can't reach the container.
Oh, that's me, I should have thought. Do you think you can hold her for a second while I get it?
Yeah. She's stopped struggling now.
Here we are. You ready?
I think so.
Okay, just take it steady.
I can't. My hands are shaking.
You're doing fine. Keep going. Here we go. Is it all gone?
Yeah.
Now, gently withdraw the tube. Yep, that's it. That's it. You done it. Brilliant. I said you could.
But do you want to take it out?
Oh yeah, of course. Go on then. Oh. There we go. See? She looks perfectly happy.
Oh, you've done really well.
So have you. Another couple of goes and you'll be able to do this on your own.
Well, thanks for helping me.
Right. Well, I'll put her back in her pen.
Dear Rachel, I'm sorry I haven't been in touch for a few days, but I've been really busy. Guess what? I've decided to give the Hoopers names, as I'm going to be seeing them every day. Cameron didn't like the idea at first, but finally agreed. I've called the female Isla and the male Lachlan, as it means something like from the land of the locks. And of course I found them on the lock. Isla's slowly improving. I've learned how to feed her now. It's been fantastic. To get so close to a wild animal, feeling she's starting to trust me. Lachlan continues to pine for her. Hiya.
Fiona, what are you doing here? It'll be dark soon.
Look at him.
There's nothing I can do.
Well, can't you take him in? Let him be with Isla.
No, he'd hate captivity.
It burns your heart.
I know. It's hard not to let him get to you. He just doesn't know what's happening.
You think it's any easier if you do know what's happening?
Look, we should get back. It'll be dark soon.
I hate to leave him like this.
Fiona.
It's not fair.
Fiona, what is it? Oh, come on, please. Please don't cry. Fiona.
I can't bear it.
Come here. It's all right. Fiona.
Please, don't. Just...
Come here. That little scar under your eye.
What?
Ever since that first morning I saw you stand in the snow with your coat over your nightdress. I wanted to ask you what happened.
I was a kid, climbing a tree. I fell. I caught myself on a branch.
It must have hurt.
Well, they said it would eventually fade, but it never did.
It's beautiful.
Don't be silly.
No. I mean it.
Snow. We'll freeze.
Yeah, I'll put my coat on the ground. You okay? Fiona? Are you too cold?
No.
It's freezing. We should try
Yeah.
You sure you're okay?
Yeah, I can't.
What is it?
It's just... I need a few minutes.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
It's, I did try to say...
What?
Look, it was wrong. We shouldn't...
I don't understand.
This mustn't happen again.
Fiona, come on.
I don't want to see you again. Don't touch me.
Touch you, we were just...
Just leave me alone.
What's going on? What's the matter?
This should never have happened. Just leave me alone.
Don't just walk away.
Get off me.
Fine. Fiona, at least...
Oh, God. Mark, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. The next few days, I didn't want to leave the house. Each day seemed to merge into the next. I spent a lot of time sat by the window looking out. I don't know what I'd hoped I'd find. Reasons for what I'd done. Ways of making things up to Mark. Each evening the trees and hills were charcoaled against a wash of pinks and reds as the sunset flooded the sky. On the fourth day, I decided to go to Cameron's house. It was late afternoon.
Fiona.
Can I come in a minute?
Look, it's not really a good time.
I won't stay long.
Okay. What is it?
Camera.
Look, the other...
What are you doing? Oh.
Shauna, this is Fiona. She's been helping me look after the swans. Fiona. Oh, Fiona! Wait a minute! Fiona!
Rachel? I'm sorry to ring so late. Did I get you out of bed?
Yeah, look, it doesn't matter what's happened. You sound upset.
I'm all right.
Fiona, you're obviously not all right. What is it?
Nothing.
Why don't you come home?
I don't want to.
It'll be Christmas soon.
I'm not interested in Christmas. I'm sick of trying to put on an act.
You're being silly.
I'm not a bloody kid.
You know that's not...
Well, it's all right for you.
What?
Why me?
I understand.
Do you? Well, I wish I could.
Things will get better with time.
Things will get better with time, so you keep saying, well, they don't.
You're not being fair. I'm just trying...
And life's so bloody fair.
Fiona?
I need to go. Bye. All right, I'm coming. Oh, what do you want?
What the hell do you think you're doing running away like that?
Why? Shona asking awkward questions.
You don't come near me for days and you turn up and
Oh,
start
you
behaving...
want to talk. You didn't waste much time finding someone else.
Oh, look, I'm getting sick of your games.
Games? What are you talking about?
That night in the law, you weren't exactly fighting me off. Then you treated me like I was... like I forced myself on you, gone against your wishes.
It wasn't...
Look, I've known Shona a long time. I know exactly where I stand with her.
Well, you never told me there was anyone else.
It's an arrangement that suits us. At least she doesn't make me feel like some...
What was wrong with you finding me and talking to me?
Oh, yeah, like after what you said. What do you think I am?
Well, if you thought anything of me at all...
I can't handle this.
My husband died 5 months ago. That's why... Why
didn't you say something?
Well, do you know what I went through? Watching him. Mark. Slowly. As someone who was young, strong, and full of life, every day trying to hide my fear, my pity. Do you know what it's like to feel pity for someone you love? Someone you thought was stronger than yourself, someone you thought nothing could ever touch, let alone kill.
I'm sorry, I didn't realise...
You wonder why I don't want you. Get away from my house and don't ever come near me again.
Well, you should have said something in the first...
Just go! Don't just stand there, go!
Fiona, come on!
Go! After he'd gone, I turned off the lights. Sat in a chair. I couldn't even cry. The moon shone through the window, throwing my shadow against the wall. Heavy and brooding. I couldn't move. Maybe it was time to go home.
Fiona?
I thought I told you to stay away.
What are you doing?
Loading the car. I'm going back to Sheffield.
You're leaving?
Anyway, what have you come for?
I can't just leave things the way they were left last night.
Why would you care?
I do. I can't help it.
I have to go.
I made a mess of my marriage.
Marriage?
Aye. We're divorced.
And you never thought it was worth mentioning?
No. What's it got to do with us?
Well, obviously nothing. Anyway, it doesn't matter now.
I don't want to mess this up as well.
It's too late.
Please, give me... us another chance.
It should never have happened.
You want me as much as I want you. Whatever you say.
I thought I explained about Mark.
Come on. How many chances do you get at love?
Oh, no, it's too soon.
Fiona, this is about you.
It makes it look as though what I felt for Mark didn't count. It wasn't true.
Why? You know what you felt. Isn't that all that matters?
It's not that simple.
We've both been given a second chance.
It wouldn't work.
This is hard for me, you know? Really hard. Come on. Please, don't go. I love you. Fiona?
What if... Let's go inside.
You okay?
Yeah. It's just sometimes, well, the shadows in a room can seem scary.
I can't say I ever thought about it.
Don't you ever guess the shape that shadows make?
Not really.
Doesn't anything scare you? Oh, come on. Everyone's scared of something.
Being in a plane crash.
That doesn't count. Most people are scared of things like that.
What do you want me to say then?
What frightens you?
If you don't think about your fears, they can't hurt you.
So you believe you can just push them away forever? Don't they have a way of...
Let's just leave it, eh? I'm gonna get a drink. Do you want one?
Okay. Thanks. Tea'd be nice.
I won't be long.
Oh, she loves splashing about in that pool.
Aye. It's not just for her amusement, though.
Oh?
Well, I have to make sure she's still able to keep waterproof. You see how she's preening herself? Water birds have a gland that produces oil. They use their beak to spread the oil through their feathers.
She's starting to look stronger.
Well, she's had your constant attention for the last few weeks. You've done a good job looking after her.
So have you always loved animals?
I suppose so.
Especially birds?
Yeah. Anything else you want to know?
I just want to hear more about you, that's all. You hardly tell me anything.
Oh, my past's not very interesting.
It is to me.
Where do you want me to start?
When you were a boy.
Okay. Well, I was brought up in inner city Glasgow. I went to uni there as well. Hated it.
So, what got you into the outdoors?
I've got 5 brothers and sisters. Summer holidays, we used to drive my mother mad. So she'd pack me and my older brother off to Harris to help out my grandparents' croft.
Did you mind?
No, not at all. I loved it. I wish I could have spent all my time there. I realised that when I got the chance, I'd live somewhere remote, as far away from cities as I could.
What's it like, Harris?
Miles and miles of white beaches. Huge waves crashing onto them. The islands act as a break to Atlantic storms. Sometimes it's so windy it's dangerous to go outside. I used to love it. Being safe in the house, listening to the wind. You felt like you could pick the whole island up and blow it across the sea.
When do the swans migrate again?
Usually about April time. It's lovely here in the spring and early summer. We get beautiful sunsets. If it doesn't rain.
Let's hope it doesn't rain then. Where are we going?
You'll see. We're nearly there.
What's that?
Eagles. Look. Over there. No, further to the right. You see past that patch of dark rock? It's a pair of eagles have nested for as long as I've lived up here.
Oh, look, there's the other one. Oh, it's flying near its mate. They're magnificent.
Well, this is it. Just look at that view. Eh? It's just one of those places that for me, you know, it's really special.
Yeah.
So we're special for you?
Well, this might sound silly, but the Hooper Lock. As soon as I saw it, I felt, I don't know, I felt I'd found a place I'd known all the time. I'd just been waiting to find it.
Why should that be silly?
There was a place in the south of France, Provence. Mark and I visited a few years ago.
On holiday?
Yeah. It was a really hot summer. Too hot to go out in the day. And one evening we discovered this amazing place. It was a monastery where the monks farmed lavender. And the fields, they were in shadow. You should have seen them. You know the way lavender grows in kind of hummocks?
Aye.
Well, there were thousands of them. Wave after wave of flowers, like a sea of scented purple and lilac. And they seemed to fill this whole valley. I remember this bell, and it must have been calling the monks to prayer or something, and it echoed against the wall of this cliff. It was just beautiful. It was only a few months later, after we got back, that Mark got ill. And then everything happened so quickly. One minute he was fine, and then the next year he was diagnosed with cancer. It was like we'd been transported into a different world. Everything just seemed slightly unreal. And then as he got weaker, he got more distant, and then everything got used up. Time ran out.
I'm sorry.
Did you ever bring your wife here?
Angie? God, no. I don't think she'd have appreciated it.
I thought she'd have been into the outdoors like you.
You must be joking. You're the only person I've ever brought here. Fiona?
Well, I'm glad you did. We drove to the beach. The tide had just gone out, leaving the sand patterned by the waves. As we walked, I thought how amazing it was that with every change of tide, the beach was shaped differently. How you could visit this place every day and it would never look the same. I wondered for a moment if Mark could see me. Us. I let go of Cameron's hand, guilty, that he might see me so happily holding on to someone else, walking away from everything we'd known. And when we got back to the house, there was an unexpected visitor. Rachel?
You still alive then?
Oh, Rachel, I'm so sorry. I was going to get in touch. Cameron, this is my sister Rachel. Rachel, Cameron.
Let's go inside. It's cold.
3 weeks since I've heard from you. No one answered at the cottage. I was out of my mind.
I was stupid. I lost track of time.
How can you lose track of 3 weeks?
She's been living with me.
I was going to tell you.
I don't believe this.
Do you have a problem with that?
Cameron, leave it. Rachel, you look exhausted. Let's have something to eat and we can talk about this later. I thought I'd take you to my lock. What do you think? Lachlan. He's still missing his mate.
Fiona, do you think you're doing the right thing?
What do you mean?
Moving in with Cameron.
I love him.
How can you be sure?
Of course I'm sure. Why wouldn't I be?
We've only just met him.
It's been nearly 2 months.
But not very long. Especially after... Well, emotions can get exaggerated when you've been through what you have. And you're isolated in a strange environment.
Do you think I haven't gone through this?
It's easy when you're away from everything you know. I don't know. To lose your sense of perspective. Not know what's real anymore.
You know, meeting someone like Cameron, it was the last thing I expected.
I'm sure. But I just don't think this is right. You're confused.
People can change.
So quickly. Fiona, I've known you all your life. This isn't you.
but...
Mark's not even been dead a year. I just don't think you're thinking straight. It's understandable.
What do you mean?
You're still grieving. This... I don't know... Being a bit reckless, a bit impulsive could all be part of the process.
Just because
I'm not saying you should never have a relationship again. Just give yourself a bit more time.
I know what it must look like.
I'm your big sister. I've always been there for you. You've got to trust me on this.
How can I convince you that I'm not making a mistake?
Travel home to Sheffield with me. Try going back to your old life for a few months. If you still feel that's not where you belong anymore, that you want to live here with Cameron, then I'll accept him. I'll know what you're doing is right.
You're asking a lot.
Why? If Cameron really loves you, surely he'll understand.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Of all people, I want to see you happy again.
I don't know.
Shall we go back?
I'd like to stay here. Do you mind? I need to think.
Of course.
Are you sure you can find your own way back?
Yeah.
Can you ask Cameron if he'll come to the lock?
The sky and hills were cowled and grey, grimly holding out for spring. A low mist hung over the water. I could just make out the swan feeding quietly in the reeds. Some myths say the first swan was born out of the mist that arises when the fire of the south meets the frost of the north.
Where's Fiona?
Still at the lock. She says she wants you to go to her.
Oh?
I'm not happy about this.
Look, I'm sorry if this hasn't...
No, you're not.
What?
You want to keep her up here, keep her away from her family. You're scared.
Hey, hold on a second.
Why didn't you make her get in touch?
It's not up to me.
I think she's denying how she really feels.
What is your problem?
You've taken advantage of my sister.
I haven't taken advantage of it.
Oh, come on.
You think you can control what happens, but you can't.
You can exert restraint around people who are clearly
You
vulnerable.
can't control when and who you fall in love with.
She doesn't love you.
She told you that.
No, but she's not herself. She can't make clear judgments.
What is it you want?
I want her to come back to Sheffield with me, where she belongs.
I'm not forcing her to stay.
While she's with you, she's confused.
Oh, no wonder she wanted to get away.
What?
You talk about her as if she's helpless.
It won't work.
I think that's for us to decide. Fiona.
Hi.
Rachel said you wanted to see me.
What's she doing?
Getting her things together, I hope. I lost my temper.
Look, it's only because she cares about me. Give her time.
Are you going to listen to her?
I can't deny the past.
I'm not asking you to.
Cameron, I think I should go back to Sheffield for a while.
You're joking?
Well, I need to make sure that you and I are right, that we're doing the right thing.
What?
Well, I'm sure we are. I'll probably only be gone for a few weeks.
You're giving up on this?
No, but I feel that I owe it to Rachel, my family.
Oh, then what?
Well, that we haven't just been carried away by everything that's happened in the last few months, that what we have is genuine, that I'm not just reacting to losing Mark.
So that's what you've really been thinking all the time, that I'm just And I thought that we had some...
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know anymore. Oh, look, just give me a bit of time on my own. No complications.
Well, if you go, that's it.
Oh, don't be so selfish.
I'm not going to hang around on the off chance you might decide you want to come back, decide you want to be with me after all.
We can't pretend we haven't had lives with other people. I'm not going to forget I love Mark.
You know, your sister's probably right. This could never have worked out anyway. I'm only ever going to be second best.
And how do I know you won't jump straight back into Shona's bed?
And what about you? When you sleep, you call out Mark's name.
I can't help dreaming.
Aye, and how do you think that makes me feel? I've just made love to you and you... You know, I knew you'd do this. After what happened with Angie, I swore I'd never get involved again. I was an idiot to think you were any different, that we could be any different.
I do love you.
How can you if you have to prove it?
You've got to trust me.
As we drove back towards Sheffield, the landscape became crowded. claustrophobic. I went back to work. My boss had kept my job open. Compassionate leave. I hated it. I missed walking into the hills. I missed the swans. I missed the pink-skied mornings when the snow glowed rose and lilac and blue. It was 4 weeks now and Cameron hadn't been in touch.
Oh, thanks for looking after the kids today.
No problem.
Oh, I feel almost human having time to myself.
How are Helen and Michelle?
Michelle's a bit stressed out with builders. We had a nice lunch. That place on Church Street used to be a bank. You ought to go there. Fiona, look.
I don't really fancy it.
Well, maybe later when...
I don't feel like it.
What do you fancy for dinner?
I don't mind.
Are you coming into the kitchen with me while I make it? Could open a bottle of wine.
Sure.
Fiona, is everything okay?
I'm fine. Hello?
Hello?
Cameron! Hi, how are you?
I'm okay. Look, Fiona, I've just realised you got my spare Land Rover keys. I need them. I wondered if you could send them on to me.
Yeah, of course. Oh, sorry about that. Everything else okay?
Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just going to ask how the swans are getting on.
Not too bad. Look, Fiona, I've got to go.
Oh, well, take care.
Bye.
4 dance lessons a week are quite enough for Lily, don't you think? Fiona, have you listened to a word I've said?
I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, it's nothing. How was work this morning?
All right.
Didn't you say you were going out on Friday? Clubbing. That's good. I envy you. Even when Tony and I can get a babysitter, I'm too knackered to be back later than 11. Fiona?
I'm not going.
Why?
I don't want to.
But you'll enjoy it.
I don't want to spend all night in a dark, crowded room where I can't hear myself think, let alone have a conversation with anyone. With cheesy guys pestering me to dance.
You don't want to give this a chance.
Do you really want me to carry on like this?
Fiona?
It's not working.
But
I love him.
I still don't think you've given yourself enough time.
Is there an official time to wait before you can love again?
Well, it's hardly been 8 months since March.
How long then?
I don't know.
2 years? Is that okay? 5 years? 10? A lifetime? You forced me into coming here to choose.
If anyone made you choose, it was Cameron. What kind of a...
Why can't you accept? Why can't you let me be happy?
I want you to be happy, that's why...
Your idea of happy?
No.
Can't you understand? I love Mark. But he's gone. He's not coming back. Wanting to be with somebody else, it doesn't mean I love him any less.
How can it? You loved him so much.
Why can't I have that again? Mark taught me how to love. At least that's something of him that can survive.
But
I don't want to be on my own. Maybe if I hadn't have met Cameron, it would have been longer. But I have met Cameron. Rachel.
Then go back.
What?
Go back if it means that much to you.
He was by the lock, his reflection wavering in the current. I was afraid. How he'd look as he turned to face me. At first, he just gazed at me, straight into me. And then...
Hello?
Hello?
Have you come to see the swans?
Yeah. I went to the house first, but you weren't there. I thought I might find you here.
Are you staying for long?
Depends on you.
Look, Fiona, I'm not an easy person to get
I know.
on. I mean, I can't make any promises. I can't promise you that everything's going to be perfect.
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
So am I.
I've been awful.
No, it was me.
No, you didn't do anything.
Come here.
You know, I think I'm scared.
You scared?
Aye. Me.
One morning, a flock of hooper swans passed over.
They're beautiful.
Our pair is still on the loch.
They're listening.
Lachlan's getting himself ready to fly.
We stepped back and watched as Lachlan ran across the loch and took flight. Isla followed, their wings steadily, gracefully beating. Their flight seemed so effortless that it was surprising how quickly they grew close to the flock. How quickly they faded into the pale sky.
Fiona was played by Kaye Wragg, Cameron by Alex Ferns, and Rachel by Susan Cookson. The Haunt of Swans was written by Sharon Oakes and directed in Manchester by Pauline Harris.
This is BBC Radio 4. Ragtime music was the first black music to become popular in the United States, and it accompanied the dawn of the 20th century. Next this afternoon, the pianist and conductor Wayne Marshall will tell its story. And then at 4 o'clock it'll be time for Weekend Woman's Hour, and Martha is here now to tell us more.
Charlotte Rampling commands a screen presence that adds complexity to the subtle character she portrays. But some of those adventurous roles belie her own personality.
I rather tend to use characters to make me braver. As a form of shine, as a form of defiance of all the things that that you could imagine that you do, I have actually done quite a few of them on screens. I'm a reluctant star in a sense. I really have to feel that there is big adventure there to get me going. It's not about entertainment, it's about commitment for me, what I do.
Charlotte Rampling talks about her life and her new role as a sex tourist on Weekend Woman's Hour at 4 o'clock today.
And before that, the pianist and conductor Wayne Marshall tells the story of Ragtime. The music was resurrected in 1974 thanks to the soundtrack to the film The Sting. But it first took America by storm in the 1890s. Within a year, a New Yorker might have seen his first motorcar, his first moving picture show, and his first newspaper comic strip, and all to the sound